Hello, my name is Guillaume Roeg. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer at Bernard Engine. Today I'm here to introduce you to the workflow through different roles in a production.
Let's start by going to the demo project to introduce you to what we call the project item model. These are models who make it possible to generate project items which are elements of the project. In the project item model, as in the project item, there is a workflow in which there is a group of tasks that must be accomplished to complete the object. We can create our own tree based on tasks that we can create on the fly or on tasks that have already been configured by recovering them. In my case, I will recover tasks that already exist. For example, here the assignment and schedule task. We can obviously create as many as we want, or to recover them, we can also classify them by type of task. As you can see, there are different types of tasks in Bernard, which have different icons and that has a different meaning. The blue tasks here are what we call validation tasks. They actually ensure that we can stop the workflow at a given time to wait for a confirmation that we can go to the following task. Then we have the white task with the icon of the adjustable range, which are the actual human work. On this we will be able to put building time, and the time log of this task will be automatically recorded. And we will also be able to associate files to it. Finally, we have the red gear icon, which are the script tasks. These are the ones that are executed by the computer and launched automatically as soon as they are ready. That will allow you to launch an application, a command, or whatever you will need to automate. Here is our template workflow, which will allow me to create assets based on this workflow model. Let's save the workflow. To create this workflow, I had to be connected to Bernard as a supervisor. I will now connect to another Bernard with a coordinator account to start the first task of assignation and schedule. Let's go back to the demo project to create several assets based on the workflow model that we just saved, which is here. To import assets in Bernard, you will have the option to get all their information from a Google or an Excel sheet by using the import from table. First, let's choose our CG asset workflow model that we just created, and then let's copy the cells of your sheets and paste them into the import from table windows of Bernard. The asset information will be mapped directly, and by clicking on import all, the asset will be created all at once into the asset folder of Bernard. Now all I have to do is to assign and schedule them. So either we can go through the property view and choose the assignment tab there, or we can go to the Gantt view to have a better understanding of the workload of each employee by being able to see a global view of the multiple projects the company is working on at the moment. Let's schedule my 3 assets. There the Gantt will respect the bid and order of each task as we've organized them into the workflow. Of course, I can move the different assets so they don't overlap. Here we can see that Bernard has already automatically assigned all the tasks to almost all the people corresponding to the role he had found on the project. To make the automatic assignation works, we had to indicate a department and a role for each task, for example production and coordinator. Or here, in design, we have a design department and an artist role. Bernard automatically makes this correspondence and he assigns all the design artist tasks to the artist he will find, who itself will have in its characteristic the right department. Let's validate this automatic selection. As you can see, there is no surfacing artist. And this is because we didn't set any surfacing artist in this database. So we will have to choose manually an artist here. My asset is now fully assigned and scheduled, and we can see here that all the tasks are respecting the order of the workflow we did earlier and the bid we had in our Google Sheet. The production is now ready to start, and I can change the status of the task assignation from ready to whip and to done. As you probably noticed, when I changed my status to done, the workflow automatically changed the status of the following task to ready, and now the instruction design task is to be completed by the lead designer. Let's go in the My Task view, and there I can see that I have to do the design instruction on this asset. Now I start the task by clicking on Whip to indicate that I'm working on my design instruction, and then I select my design tasks to fill the instruction. The idea here is to describe what is expected on this task from the artist. Here I'm going to have two types of instructions, one on the model which will be global and shared in all the assets. Let's start by doing a generic one, like for example, I don't want the artist to exceed a certain amount of polygon. Also, I choose to make it checkable here, so the artist indicates that this instruction has been done. The second type of instruction will be local and related to the selected asset, here smiling stone. There I will actually insert a design, and I will be able to drag and drop a picture directly into the user instruction. Now let's also add a little comment and save the instruction. Now that my instructions are finished, I go back to my task and I say that the task is done. And there you see that the asset disappeared from my task list, as I just finished everything I had to do for today. Let's log into another Bernard as an artist, and we are going to move on to the design process. In the root project view, I have access to all my tasks on multiple projects, allowing me to have a better understanding of my workload on all projects that I'm assigned on. I can either enter a specific project and go into my task view and see the task assigned to me on this particular project. My first step will be to look at the instruction, and I will press on the whip button to indicate that I'm starting my work. When my work will be done, I will check the different box so my team will be aware that all the instructions have been followed. I'll also be able to drag and drop some pictures to explain my work to my lead. Of course, I will have the opportunity to add at any time during my task any kind of comment or picture to describe my work. I can now change the status of my task to done, and we can notice that the next status has automatically changed to ready. We are now ready to start the modeling task. Now connected as a modeling artist, I can see that I have this asset in modeling ready. Working files are fully part of Bernard, and I can directly open my Maya scene from it. When I launch my file, Bernard asks me to change my status of my task to whip. There is different way to open a file. I could have opened it from here or from anywhere this task appear in Bernard. Maya will start in a good launcher context with all the necessary latest version and dependency as it has been set by the supervisor. Here is my 3D asset. For the sake of this demo, we will just do a save and increment by using the Bernard plugin in Maya. Going back into Bernard, we can notice that the file has been updated. It has been automatically named and incremented following the naming convention set for this project. By changing my status task to done, automatically the following script tasks start the render turntable, and we will be able to follow the render progress into the property view of the script task. My render will be accessible here, and now the surfacing task is in ready status. Let's make now a change in the workflow. Let's say that we would like to add a validation task of the modeling in between the script render table and the surfacing. To do so, let's connect to Bernard as a lead. By the way, the right to edit the workflow can be controlled and assigned to any kind of position depending on your organization. Let's go into the workflow of the previous asset by going directly to the model of the workflow. Click on the edit button and modify the workflow by inserting a modeling validation task in between the render turntable script and the surfacing task. By inserting a new task before another task, this will change the status following the new task to the waiting status. Let's save our workflow. And now the asset is in validation modeling ready, and the surfacing task is now in the status of waiting. As I'm connected as a lead, I can directly look into my task to do the task of validation for this asset. I'll be able to consult the file of the artist, and Bernard will open the right version, and there I will be able to do my validation by adding notes and paint over. When I'm done with reviewing the video, I will just have to press the note button at the top right of the window. Bernard will create a correction note in the right context, meaning modeling, and automatically the artist and coordinator will be added to this note. You will notice the two frames we've done the paint over appears at the bottom of the windows, and you will also have the opportunity to add a weight to this retake for your productivity review. As you can see, the task is now back to modeling ready with a red circle containing the number 1, which means there is one retake. Let's connect back as an artist to see what retakes looks like. Back in Bernard, I can see that my task is in red, meaning that I've got a retake. I can also see that I've received a notification. And by clicking on it, it will bring me directly into the asset context of the retake. Let's change my status to WIP in order to fix my asset. Once the fix is done, I will check in my node the retake of the lead and change again the status of my tasks to done. This will restart the following render turntable script and restart the validation process.
I hope this little introduction will have offered you a better understanding of the power of Bernard. I'm looking forward to introducing to you the new feature in a future video, and speak to you soon. Bye.